watching the brat. ChesaTheBrat, yeah. Get a subscriber tab. ChesaTheBrat.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. If you're not already subscribed, girl, hurry up, because y'all already know this is where you get the tea. I don't really even got to explain that much to you, because if you're new, why aren't you already subscribed to me, girl? Give me a reason. I need at least one good reason, because what do you mean? I know you've seen one of my videos before. I know you've seen one of my videos before. No, I'm just playing. If you new, I love you. Welcome to the family. Oh, my battery's already finna die. What? This is not a good start. Not a good first impression. Hold on, let me get it together. Okay, y'all, I believe this battery is fully charged. Sorry about that. But yes, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. You know I love you. This story time is so embarrassing, which if we're being real, pretty much all my story times are embarrassing. Like, we're not even gonna pretend like embarrassing ain't the trend here. Not only is it embarrassing, it's a learning experience, okay? Maybe you guys can learn from my experience. Okay, so just for a disclaimer, I am not condoning the use of drugs, alcohol, none of that, especially underage, y'all. This was my high school experience, and I don't want y'all to be like me. Do not copy anything that I did. Don't try this at home. None of that. This is just me telling y'all my experience because it is embarrassing, and y'all know y'all eat up my embarrassing story, so that's what we gonna do. I was kind of a late bloomer when it came to pretty much all things that people were doing, like smoking weed, drinking alcohol, all that type of stuff. I was a late bloomer because I've always struggled with health anxiety. Even before I got diagnosed with it, I didn't know that I had health anxiety, but I did know that, you know, all things health related used to make me really anxious, and I always thought something was wrong with me, and I always was scared that, like, if I was in another consciousness, aka if I got intoxicated or inebriated, I would feel crazy. Like, I felt like something bad would happen to me, or I would pass out, or I would die. Just me being dramatic as hell. But when we get into the story, y'all gonna see that I wasn't really too much dramatic, for real. Like, I was hitting the nail right on the head, for real. I was a preemie when it came to all that stuff. But however, I do have, because he's very much alive and well. Love my brother. I have an older brother, and just for a reference of age, I'm 21 and he's 26. So when I was younger, he was my only sibling, by the way. I didn't have any other siblings. I don't have any other siblings. So I would pretty much get not influenced by him in like a bad way, because he definitely never pressured me to do anything or to like try anything that I shouldn't try or anything like that. But even down to the shows I was watching, Kids Next Door, Ren and Stimpy, like all the little, and those shows might not be hella old to some of y'all, because I have some older viewers, but my generation, or like he was right before me. I was, you know, Barney era and stuff like that, but I was watching shows that he was watching because he was watching it. And y'all, like, I was like a little ass girl watching South Park, watching freaking Robot Chicken, and just stuff that I shouldn't have been watching. So this story time took place in 9th grade. This was my first time smoking. And I wish I could go back and tell myself, like, girl, you're not missing out on anything, for real. Like, you really can just wait on it. Because everybody was smoking around me, especially boys and stuff like that, and everybody was, you know, posting up their little weed and they blunts and stuff like that. And I knew my brother smoked, because my brother had been smoking since he was like probably like 13, 12, I don't know. It wasn't like nobody was like smoke. Well, not yet, but it wasn't like I wanted to do it because people were telling me to. It was just because I was seeing everybody do it. And just because you see everybody do it don't mean you got to do it. Like, now I'm starting to understand my mama saying, like, if everybody jump off a cliff, you gonna jump. And it depends who's jumping. It depends like how high the cliff is, you know what I'm saying? It depends what we jumping for. But 99% of the time, no, don't jump off a cliff just because somebody else jumping. Don't jump off no cliffs in general, y'all. I just wanted to smoke because I saw everybody else doing it. That's not how you should think. That's not how you should operate. Be yourself, baby, for real. Like, come on. So boom, in 9th grade, me and my brother had just moved into this new house, like from our childhood house that we lived in, like, since I was like a baby, for real. Not a baby, but like since super young, all the way until 8th grade. We lived in my childhood house with my stepfather at the time. He was my childhood stepfather. And him and my mom had just split, and then we had moved into this other house in the same area, same city. But this was a time for me where it was really rough. It was almost like, you know, your parents getting a divorce type shit. Like, it was really rough on me. I didn't really express it in a way like crying and stuff like that, but my daddy issues were on 10 million. And yeah, so I was just talking to a lot of boys, and luckily I wasn't indulging in, you know, doing things with these boys, but I was, you know, I had my crushes or whatever. I wanted attention from boys and stuff like that. I wanted to impress boys and stuff like that. And yeah, so I had a little crush, and we're gonna get into how I met this boy and who he was and all this stuff. At this time, by the way, I had just got slapped with 3 different diagnoses for anxiety. Before anybody tries to diagnose themselves, I made a video, my last story time, I talked a little bit about my BPD, and a lot of you guys, well, a few of you guys were in the comments saying that you guys have this just based off of my video. Definitely go get tested for these things. Sometimes you can even get misdiagnosed, so definitely don't self-diagnose. Even if it sounds like you to a T, you might have something different, or you might just have some of the symptoms and not all of it, might not meet the criteria. And I promise you guys, being diagnosed with something is not something that you want. Not that it's a horrible thing if you do get diagnosed with it, but don't hear me and just like, oh, I have that too. Like, definitely don't do that. But yeah, I had gotten diagnosed with 3 different anxiety disorders, and this is before I got diagnosed with my heart condition, a little bit before actually, so a lot was going on at the time. My brother had been trying to get me to smoke with him, not in like a pressuring way, but more like, when are you gonna smoke? Like, when you gonna hit the blunt with me? Like, when we gonna smoke? When we gonna, you know, when we gonna spark a blunt? Like, for real. Like, he would be like, you don't have to get no weed. I don't want you going to these plugs. Like, you can just, you know, smoke with me. You can smoke my shit or whatever. And I would always tell him, like, I'm not ready for that yet. Like, he knew I was scary. Like, he know his sister. So he would always just be like, well, whenever you ready, before you go smoke with these little boys, or you go smoke at a party or something, smoke with me so that you know, you can trust me, and your first experience can be with me, so that, you know, just to make sure. He didn't want me around nobody that would try to take advantage of me, because he didn't know how it would affect me or anything. So he would always just say, like, just promise me when you want to try it for the first time, you're gonna let me know. And of course I had no problem with that. Like, on top of that, I don't have to buy it from nobody. I don't have to do none of that. You can roll it for me. Like, yeah, definitely, baby, I'm gonna let you know. So if y'all seen that other story time where I pulled up on my high school op, in 9th grade I had a crush who was an older boy. This is like somewhere in the midst of that, like, might have been before, in between, after, I don't really know, because 9th grade I was single for real. And I'm not gonna lie, when I walked into high school, I was like a kid in a candy store. Like, there were so many dudes I'd never seen before, so many boys, and I was really just like trying to build my roster. Like, I'm not even playing with y'all. So
I know that's right.
I don't know how everybody else high school work or middle school works, but when you're in 8th grade, back where I went to high school, you would have a day towards the end of the year where they take you on a bus to the high school, and they do like a tour in the high school, and the people who would give you the tour would be seniors. And this would be whenever regular school is in session, so you would pretty much see all the grades, just, you know, school going on as normal, like the normal scheduled programming going on, and it would just be a bunch of little 8th graders walking around looking at everything. And yeah, so this was one of those days. And mind you, I said my brother is 6 years older than me, or like 5 years older than me, because I turned 22 this year. He turns 27. I don't know, but he's much older than me, and by the time I got to high school he was gone already. But I don't remember if he was part of this tour or not. I don't know if he graduated the year before I came. I don't really know. Like, math is not my strong suit, I'm not gonna lie. I had to do algebra 2 times, baby, and let's not screen record me saying that, please. I remember, y'all, it was so corny. Like, they literally, the seniors, like, I don't know if y'all know if y'all cafeterias do this, but at my cafeteria there was like a long caged like gate thing that would come down to close the cafeteria, kind of like how when you go to the mall and they're closing the stores down, they have those like gates that they pull down. And y'all, literally they were behind those. Like, it was like a scene out of Beyond Scared Straight. Like, literally, I'm gonna pop it up on the screen. Like, they were doing the most, trying to make it seem like it was so scary. High school so scary. But little did they know, like, the gag is, I have a brother who's in high school already. I already know what this is like. I've been up here multiple times with my mama. I done seen school in session already. It's just regular schmegular, just a little bit more freedom. Like, let's be for real, y'all doing way too freaking much right now. So we got taken to the gym, and we did like this activity where they had like assigned us somebody based off our last names, a senior, and like that's how we had lined up in the cafeteria to go about our separate groups for the tour. So when I was in the gym, y'all, I seen old boy. So I'm gonna name him, ooh, we gonna name him Nick, Because if y'all ever seen Wildin' Out, Nick Cannon, he gave such Nick Cannon energy. Like, Nick Cannon thinks he's so cute, so fly. He thinks he can dress. He thinks he got all the bitches, which he do, but not in that way. Like, he's not that guy. And he acts like he's a thug for real. And we all know Nick Cannon ain't no thug. And this boy definitely acted like he was a thug, and he definitely wasn't. Cause be for real, he had came from a school, like I had ended up finding out what school he had came from, and like he's from suburbia for real. Like he was from the suburbs, which there's nothing wrong with that, but he was definitely from the suburbs. One of them boys who would have like a nice ass house and talk about how he from the trenches. This is that boy. So we gonna name him Nick. He was a 9th grader, y'all, but I didn't recognize him from last year. Like he wasn't at my middle school as an 8th grader when I was in 7th grade. He must have been, well, he was, but I was thinking like, oh, he must be new or whatever, because I don't know who he is. He must be transferred. But at the time, y'all, I liked the whole hood boy thing. Like he looked like he was fresh out. He was sagging his pants down to his ankles damn near, and I don't know, his style was just a little bit different from the other boys in the, like, that I could see in the gym. Like he had on some sneakers I ain't never seen before. Like I don't know, like,
oh, don't let my class fool you. I love a good hood gym.
All these girls the same, talking shit, be ass.
he just looked good to me. So I remember getting his Snapchat or giving damn bitch, I can't even talk, giving him my Snapchat or him giving me his Snapchat or whatever. And then I went about my tour because I couldn't really stay in the gym and talk to him for real, because they were gonna end up taking us back to the school or whatever, which I don't know if it's that big of a red flag for him to be like, oh, this 8th grade girl wants me and I'm in high school already. But he probably knew like I was finna be there, so I don't know. Around this time, y'all, I thought it was so P to just give niggas my Snapchat and not give them my number. I think he probably asked for my number and I gave him my Snapchat, or I was like, oh, you can have my Snap, like. But in reality, I probably didn't even have a phone. Like, it was probably my iPod or something, because I got my first phone when I was 13. So it might have been like I had just got that phone, and I just thought it was so player to give niggas my Snapchat. Like, oh no, you can have my number, baby, but you can have my Snapchat though. Like, girl, I don't know if I was just lame or if it's just giving pick me, but I never used to do streaks, y'all. I thought streaks were so annoying and just so pointless. I never held a streak longer than a day. Like, I would send little fake streak pics to like my crushes or whatever. Like I'll send a black screen and be like streaks question mark, or like a cute selfie of myself and be like streaks, but I would never hold a streak like longer than that day. I never would do that shit. I don't know, like it made me feel like rent was due on the first. Like I just felt like it was too much of a commitment and it was just too big of a responsibility to keep up with streaks. Like the way my friends used to act like it was do or die about these streaks, like they just, hold on, I gotta get my streak, it's about to end. Like, are you okay? We would have a little conversation here and there. And again, this was like right before I got to the school. So 9th grade starts or whatever, and me and him are still snapping back and forth. We didn't really see each other over the summer or nothing like that. Like we would be flirting on Snapchat over the summer, but I was super scared to like meet up with him or anything like that. I was like, I'm gonna link him now that I'm in high school. I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna go to the functions. I'm gonna be like, it's gonna be lit. One day, oh boy posts a little picture. I don't know if y'all have seen it. Y'all probably seen it, or like a different variation of this same photo where like a dude would post like a meme and be like mood, and it would have like a dude rolling up on a girl's booty, or like a girl smoking in her panties and him smoking on the bed, like just chilling. Like basically him saying that it's a move for him to be smoking with a girl or like smoking on a girl or whatever. So I saw that and instantly I was like, oh, so he really want a smoker for real. Okay, changing my character to smoking mode. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's all you had to say, baby. Like, you didn't have to say nothing but a word. And I'm pretty sure he had posted something like, I love a girl who can roll up for me, or something like that. So instantly, YouTubing how to roll a blunt. I'm looking up how to roll, all this stuff. I probably watched 50 videos that one night, looking up videos of how to roll. I didn't really have like the material to follow along and do it, because I wasn't finna ask my brother, can I practice with his weed to roll? He would have been like, girl, get the fuck out of my room. So I was just watching and trying to see if I felt like I could replicate that in real life if I had to roll a blunt for him one day or something like that. So I'm just watching these videos. Courtney, girl, like, did he pick you yet? And I promise you guys, he did not end up picking me for real. I mean, he picked me, but then I ruined it because I wanted to be a pick me. So it must have been probably the same night or maybe the next day that I texted my brother while I was at school or wherever I was, and I told him that I wanted to smoke or whatever. Like, I wanted to smoke with him. I was ready to smoke with him. And that like when I got home from school or whenever he got home, I don't remember, I just remember texting him. So he must not have been home, or I wasn't home, but I texted him and I was like, whenever you get here, we rolling up, like I'm ready. I didn't want to tell him like, oh, some boy likes girls that smoke, so I want to smoke, because that would have embarrassed me. Because my brother wasn't too much like protective, like in a way where he didn't want me to talk to no boys, as long as they were like not somebody that would make me unsafe or whatever. He didn't care. He knew that I was gonna talk to boys, but he didn't, I guess he didn't want like a boy making me smoke or nothing like that. So I had made up some bullshit and told him that I think I wanted to smoke with Mark, because me and Mark were friends at the time still. And I had told him, if y'all don't know who Mark is, my best friend, and I was like, me and Mark want to smoke, but I want to make sure, you know, like I have a good reaction to it. I just want to get acquainted with the ganja before I go smoke with somebody else. And he's just like, okay, cool, bet. I don't know if he really bought that or not, if he believed it or not, but he ended up rolling up and he told me to go to the porch. So the way our house was set up is like, my room was upstairs and it looked over the back porch, and we had like a little swing, and that's where he would sit and smoke when he was at home or whatever, because my parents really didn't care too much that he was smoking. Well, at this time they did. Eventually they stopped caring and was like, if he's gonna smoke, he needs to smoke at the house, like not in the house, but like, you know, they'd rather him smoke out there than smoke like go out and smoke places and stuff like that, because it's not legal where we live at. I went to the back porch and I was swinging on the thing with him or whatever, and yeah, I was so nervous. I was asking him a million questions, I'm not gonna lie. I was asking him, how am I gonna know when I'm high? Like, how am I gonna know when it hit me? Like, how am I gonna know when I'm feeling it? Like, I had never been intoxicated or under the influence of anything, babes. Like, only been sober for real. So I didn't know what to compare it to, or like what he could tell me it compares to and me like understand. So he would just be like, girl, shut up and hit the blunt, and you're gonna know when you feel it, because you're gonna feel it. Like, you're gonna know when you're high. I promise you, you're gonna know. So I'm like, all right, bet. So he don't tell me really how long it's gonna take to feel it or nothing like that. Like, he's pretty much like, girl, stop asking questions. So I start hitting the blunt, right? I'm hitting the blunt, and y'all, I'm thinking that after like a minute I'm gonna be high, or like 2 minutes or 3 or something. Like, I'm like, I'm gonna hit this shit and I'm gonna start feeling it. So I hit it, and this is where my brother fucked up at. He said like I wasn't inhaling it properly or something like that. He was like, you're not even inhaling it for real. So I was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. So I start smoking it again, and I'm like inhaling deeply, like to the deep, darkest depths of my damn lungs, and I'm holding it and all that. Like, and then to make matters worse, I'm hitting it multiple times. Like, I done hit the blunt like 4 or 5 times, which is a lot for somebody who's never smoked before. Just doing it back to back, you don't even know what you're doing or what you're expecting. So I do that, and I keep telling him like, I don't feel nothing. Like, I'm not feeling this. I'm not, like, it's not giving what it's supposed to give. I'm not feeling anything. And he's just like, girl, just wait. And y'all, I kid you not, probably 5 minutes pass. I'm swinging on the swing, and I rise up like a goddamn, like an exorcism. And I'm like,
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I'm like, I can't breathe. Junior, I can't breathe.
Junior is what I call my brother. And he's just like, girl. And like, he starts like grinning. Like, he's cracking a grin, but he's not trying to like laugh like dead, play in my face and laugh. But he's just like, girl, you're breathing right now. Like, calm down. Just sit down. Like, I can get you some water. Like, calm down. And I'm like,
no, I'm dead ass. I can't breathe. Feel my heart. My heart is going.
Which, if y'all watch, there's a couple stories I'm telling y'all to watch. But there's like I got heart surgery story. And if y'all care to watch that, that one has like the least views on my channel, because y'all like the drama, which we get it. But this was similar to like a night that I had previously when I got first diagnosed with anxiety, was because I had woke up out of my sleep and my heart was racing out of my chest. Like, I'm talking about, it woke me up. That's never happened to me before. The paramedics came and they ruled it out as just an anxiety attack, because by the time they got there, my heart wasn't going as crazy as it was when I had first called the ambulance. But yeah, so my heart's going crazy. I'm like, Junior, feel my heart, not too much. I'm like, feel my heart, and he's like feeling my heart, and he's like, girl, it's fast, but it's not that fast. Like, pipe down. Mind you, he's high too, and he's always high. So he was high before we even smoked, and he was getting higher while we were smoking. So I don't think he really felt at what severity my heart was beating, because when I tell y'all, it was like it felt like one continuously long beat. I couldn't even feel the individual beats anymore. It wasn't like it was just pounding hard. It was like, I can't even explain it. It was like butterflies in my chest fast, like real bad. So I start pacing back and forth, and I'm telling my brother like, I'm finna wake up Nana. I'm finna call the ambulance. I'm telling him like, I'm about to wake up Nana. Like, I can't breathe. Like, you need to call somebody. Like, I can't breathe. And he's just like, no. That's what you're not finna do. Because he didn't want me to get him in trouble. They would have been pissed if they knew that he got me high. So he was just like, nah, you need to just go to sleep. You need to just go to sleep. Because it was really late, y'all. And so I was like, I can't sleep like this, like I can't sleep. And then I started laughing, y'all, and I can't even help it. There was nothing funny going on. I don't know why I was laughing, but I was laughing, but I was also like, oh my God, like I can't. So he was like, let's just go to your room. So we went to my room and he was like, just go to sleep. I had gotten into bed, he gave me a water and he was like, just breathe and drink this water and you're gonna fall asleep, I promise you. And I was just like, all right. And then he started walking. I was like, wait, no, sit here until I fall asleep a little bit so that you know I don't die. Like I feel like something's gonna happen to me. So he's like, all right. So he just stands there for a little bit and like, y'all, I kid you not, I fall asleep like that. And I can give it to y'all that it was the best sleep I ever had. Like I can at least say that it was the best sleep I ever done had. Well, not the best, but it was some good ass sleep. So boom, I wake up next day and I'm chopping it up with my brother. He's just like, you were just paranoid. Like some people freak out like that the first time they smoke, but that shouldn't happen to you every time you smoke. Like it was your first time smoking for real and it was some strong shit we was smoking. You probably should just relax next time, not hit it so many times. But yeah, he was just like, you should be straight. Like, so I'm like, oh, okay, so the next time I smoke, I'm just gonna be, it's gonna be straight. Like it's gonna be like how everybody else experiences their highs, right? Psych! So days go by and at this point I start committing to the role and I started just going in my brother's room and grabbing his pre-rolled, like he would roll blunts for later and stuff, and I would grab them and I would post them on my Snapchat. I would send them to Nick and I would be like streaks, like I don't know, I was just flexing with my brother's weed, which is so corny. Like girl, be so for real with yourself. My brother had me on Snapchat too. He probably was like, girl, what are you doing with my weed? Like, but I would always put it back right after, so he probably just was like, this girl is so lame, but he didn't give a fuck. One day that I posted, Nick ends up sliding up or whatever, and he's like, he said something like, damn, you pearled that shit, you need to roll one for me. Because my brother would really roll like some nice blunts or whatever, but I wasn't the one doing it, but I was definitely taking the credit. So I was just like, oh, bet I got you, something like that. Because y'all, I wasn't really thinking it through. I wasn't really thinking like I'm ever gonna be in a position where I really actually need to roll a blunt for him. So like, just talk my shit. Like I'm like, okay, bet I got you, like whenever you need me to, like. So one weekend, I don't remember what those parties were called in Atlanta. Like back in 2016, they were like big parties hosted by different niggas. I mean, I don't know if girls used to do it, but it would be like different boys would host these parties. They had like the same name though. If you remember, put it in the comments. But Nick ended up posting the flyer on his story or whatever, and I guess he seen like that I was in the story views or whatever. I didn't say anything, but I guess he peeped that like I saw his story and he had Snapchatted me and was like, are you going or whatever, are you coming? And I was just like, oh, I don't know, like I probably might, but if I do end up going, I'm gonna hit you up when I'm there or whatever. Like I might see you there or whatever. I didn't know if I was going or not because, like, to be honest, I had to ask my mama for one, because she would be the one to take me to parties. Because as y'all know from old story times, my mom was always cool as long as I had good grades. She had my location, like as long as my Find My iPhone thing was on, even in high school, y'all, until I was probably like 18, as long as my Find My iPhone was on and she knew where I was going and I told her the truth about where I was going and who I was going with, she didn't really care about me going to parties because she knew that I wasn't really wild like that. Like I really wasn't gonna come home slizzard with a boy, bring him in the house. I never snuck boys in the house and done stuff like that. Fast forward, my mama ended up saying yes, that I could go to the party, and I ended up going with my ex-best friend at the time. I'm not even gonna give her a name because she don't even deserve one. She really wasn't a good friend to me. She wasn't a good friend to my other friend that we were like mutually friends with. She just wasn't a good friend to me at all. That's neither here nor there. That's another story for another time because I got some stories with her too. But I went with her, and me going to a party with her is really like me going to a party by myself, which my mom didn't know that, but she would end up leaving me a lot of times at parties for boys, with just being with dudes and, you know, not really texting me back or not really answering me for real, which, I mean, if that's what you want to do, I ain't gonna yuck your yum, but it's really yuck for real because like I'm supposed to be your friend, we supposed to look out for each other, but you know, whatever. I go with her or whatever, and like I said, we get there and we separate, and I've probably been there for like an hour because I knew people there. Like I had seen other friends that were there, other dudes that I was cool with that I knew or whatever, so I wasn't like by myself in like a strange area that I didn't know nobody. But I would go with her and she would just peace, like it was slick, like she was using me for my mama's ride, like because her mama would never take us anywhere. I get a Snapchat from Nick and he's like, is that you I seen over there by the door? And not gonna hold y'all, I really wasn't gonna hit him up probably because I was super nervous. Like I told myself if I run into him then I'll talk to him, but I wasn't gonna go out of my way to tell him I was there because I don't know, my anxiety was like, girl, I don't feel like the whole little looking for each other meetup thing, like I done seen this in the movie too many times. You're gonna bump into him and spill something and it's just not gonna go right. So I was just like, oh shit. So I see him like typing or whatever and I open it. He's like, is that you? I seen by the door. And he done already seen me, so I wasn't finna lie. So I was like, yeah, like I just got here. I lied. I don't know if he been peeped me, I hope not, but I was just like, yeah, I just got here or whatever. And he was like, okay, like come to the kitchen where I'm at. I'm rolling up. When he says that he's rolling up, it don't really hit me. Like, I don't think nothing of it, because I'm so used to being like, I was so used to being around people who smoked even when I didn't, because I didn't have to if I didn't want to. So I was just like, okay. So I had made my way over to the kitchen where he was at. He was with his homies, and yeah, like I had ended up by this time in the year, I had known like a couple of his friends already. Some of them were boys I was cool with in school and stuff like that. So he's rolling up or whatever, and I guess they're all rolling up, and he's rolling up like 2 or 3 maybe blunts at a time. So he's like, can you roll this one for me? And he hands me like an open, you know, blunt or whatever, and a little thing of weed. I'm like, hold up, Chesa, you done dug a hole for yourself, because you know damn well you cannot roll. So what are you finna do? Like, what's your excuse finna be? So I was like, hold on, I got me some fresh nails done like probably a week or 2 ago. Like my nails were long as shit. So I'm gonna just tell him I can't roll because my nails are too long. So I was just like, oh, I just got my nails done, and I can't really roll too good when I have long ass nails. Like, I promise you don't want me to roll that for you. And he eats that up, y'all, because girls will always say that. I know some girls who can really roll with long ass nails, but a lot of girls I know be saying that they can't really roll that good with long nails. So that's what I said. And he ate it up. He finishes rolling and he's like, do you want to go outside and smoke with me or whatever? And I'm like, Chesa, you already done crossed the barrier of smoking. You smoked before. Your brother said it shouldn't happen to you again. You already denied rolling this blunt. You don't want to look like you just capped. Like, you don't want to be a... We're finna go outside and smoke. Like, it's finna be cute. Remember what he posted? He like a girl he could smoke with. That's so pick me. He like a girl he could smoke with. So girl, take your ass outside and go smoke. So I go outside with him over there. I'm like, yeah, like, let's go. So we go outside and we're like outside of the party. It's like a house party, by the way, if y'all didn't know, it was somebody's house. So we're outside, probably on the porch or whatever, wherever we were, and he starts handing me the blunt. So I don't know if he was trying to give me an experience or what, but this boy was hitting it, like barely hitting it, and he kept passing it to me. So I done hit this blunt, y'all, probably 10 times. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. That's not no exaggeration. I done hit this blunt a million times at this point. So he's just like, oh, like, you like that, huh? Not like, do you like that? He's like, oh, you're like that. Like, you really like that, huh? You really smoke like that, huh? And I'm just like, mm-hmm. And luckily, he ends up saying, like, let's go back in the party or whatever. Like, I was like, y'all, if he hands me this blunt anymore, I'm going to die. Like, for real, I'm gonna fall out right here. Around this time, it was getting chilly outside, and like the blunt kept going out, so he was tired of like lighting it over and over again. So that's why we went back inside. So we went back inside. All I remember is just everything starts looking weird. Like, not how they describe like shrooms and stuff like that to be in shows and TVs. Like, not like everything moving and colorful, not like that. But it was just like everything was like delayed. As I was looking around, everything was delayed, and I felt like kind of just off balance. Not how I feel when I'm drunk either. Like, I can't even really explain it. And I feel my chest start getting tight and my heart start going again, just like the last time, but this time it's worse. And like, it hit me kind of like the last time, like when I smoked with my brother. It was like, it wasn't like an accumulative high, kind of how when you drinking, like, you start feeling it more and more. No, that shit hit me like a Mack truck. And the same thing happened this time. So I'm like, oh shit. And I'm trying to ignore it at first. In an attempt to try to ignore this, I tell him I'm finna go to the bathroom. And he's like, okay, cool. So I go to the bathroom, y'all. And instantly I start crying and like hyperventilating. My heart is beating out of my chest. I'm like, in any second, I'm going to pass the out. I call my brother and I'm in the bathroom and I'm like, Junior, my heart is beating out of my chest. I don't know what's going on. You said this wasn't gonna happen again. And he's just like, girl, like, you must have smoked too much again, or I don't know, like, do you want me to come get you? Like, I can come get you right now. And I'm like, no, don't come get me, don't come get me. He's like, okay, just drink some water. If you want me to come get you, call me again. And I'm like, okay. So I hang up. My brother had told me to eat something. I remember him telling me you need to eat something and drink some water. So I'm like, okay, bet. He's like, if you eat something, you're gonna feel it less. Like, go eat something. So I go out to the kitchen and there's pizza, there's wings and stuff like that. There's chips. So I start stuffing my face or whatever. And Nick starts like making his way over to me or whatever. And he's like, are you good?
Oh, don't cry.
eating, I literally feel like I'm finna pass out. Like I'm damn near choking on the food, and I'm just like, no, like I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And I start crying in front of this boy, y'all. So freaking embarrassing. I start crying in front of him in the party, like in the middle of the party, in the kitchen, and I'm like, no, something's wrong. Like I feel like I'm gonna die. Like we need to call the police. And like, of course, if everybody got drugs and there's alcohol at this party and there's a bunch of like people smoking around and stuff, don't nobody want the police to be called. Like, girl, are you for real? So he feels my heart and he's like, oh, you're tripping. Like, I guess he feels like my heart is really going for it. Like, it's really going. So he's like, oh, you're tripping. He's like, come. So like, he takes me to this room, which it's not finna go like that. Like, if y'all think it's finna take a really dark turn, it's not. He takes me to like this game room or whatever. The door is open, the light is on in there, but like nobody's really in there. There's like a couple phones in there charging. And he brings me in there and he tells me to sit down. He's like, I'm finna bring you a water. Like, I'll be right back. So I'm like, okay. Like, he's like, I'll be right back for real. And I'm like, okay, hurry up. And like, I'm freaking out. Like, my heart, like, y'all, it was a mess. I'm like feeling my pulse and stuff. So 10 minutes go by. He's not back with a water. 15 minutes go by. My heart is still going. There's no water. So I get up, snot-faced, crying, and I walk out into the party, and I do a whole 360 loop around this house, and he is nowhere to be found, baby. The boy done left. He left. I call my brother, and he comes and he gets me, and y'all, at my house, we had this little, like, you know the little heart monitors that go on your finger and stuff like that? I had bought one, or I had my mama buy one off Amazon after the first incident where I had that anxiety attack, because I wanted to see if that ever happened to me again. I wanted to see how fast my heart was really going. So, y'all, by the time I get home, I do that, and my heart was going like 170. It was almost 200 beats per minute, and my heart was slower then than it was when I was at that party, and my heart was going freakishly fast. And I took a picture of that, and that like incident is kind of what helped me to figure out that I had a heart condition, because I told them, I was like, well, they already had peeped some shit like when I went and got my heart checked out and all that after my anxiety attack the first time, and they had ended up calling my mom back and finding out that I had WPW, but it confirmed it even more with them when I had a picture to show them of my heart going from me smoking or whatever. And they didn't care when I told them I smoked. They were like, yeah, some people, especially with this condition, can be affected by certain substances. Your heart can really get up there, and it can be dangerous for you. I wake up the next morning and I peeped that, oh boy, don't block me on Snapchat. He done blocked me on Snapchat, and it was the weekend. Like, obviously the party was probably on a Friday or a Saturday, so I didn't end up seeing him until Monday at school. And the boy was like completely ignoring me. Like, I wasn't gonna go up to him and be like, hey, like, and try to talk to him like about him blocking me. He wasn't my boyfriend, he wasn't my man for real. But he blocked me on Snapchat, and when I saw him at school, like, he would look away, and like, he probably thought something was really wrong with me. Like, I can't really blame him too much for being like, oh nah, like, I gotta get out of here, shorty's finna call the police, like, I got stuff on me and stuff like that. But damn, no, he didn't check up on me after. He didn't say like, are you good? Like, I had to dip. Nothing. Like, he blocked me and never talked to me again at school. None of that. Like, you're lame. But yeah, y'all, notice how my best friend at the time was nowhere to be found. Like, I'm pretty sure I was texting her and not getting no text back, and the bitch probably left. I don't know. But that's so embarrassing, y'all. And I have smoked after this situation. Like, I've even smoked like last year. Like, I have smoked since, and I get the same reaction every time. Like, it's not as drastic, but it's the same. And before y'all try to tell me, oh, you need to smoke a different strain, like, I done smoked everything that there is to smoke, and the same thing happens to me. I think it's just not for me, or maybe it might be for me years to come. I don't know, but I don't really care too much for it. Like, if I don't experience something positive when I take something, I'm not gonna want to take it again. So, and it's just so corny to me when a dude will know that I don't smoke, and they'll be like, oh, well, you just need to smoke with the right person. No, stop. You're not eating with that. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you did, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Comment other videos that you guys want to see from me. Turn on the post notification bell so you never miss when I post a video. Follow me on all my social medias that are in the link tree in the description box below. It still literally impresses me that I'm able to say that so fast without stopping. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Bye.
ChesaTheBrat.